Get a chance to speak to a man who has just captured everybody's imagination out here. Everybody is very excited about this rotation, and this guy is a big reason why. Bryce Miller is with us. How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's good to talk to you in person, and we had you on the phone before. How do you feel about the media attention? How do you feel about? I bet there's a lot of requests for you to do interviews at different places. Is this something you dreamt about, or are you now looking at it going, okay, I just want to relax and do my thing?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's better, like I said earlier, it's better to get attention than to not, because that means I got to be throwing bad. So, yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun so far.
Has the, I don't know if you had all or anything, but when you got up here and you made your first start and now you've kind of started to settle in, has it worn off the shock of, hey, I'm in the major leagues, or is it still, you have your moments where you're like, wow, I am pitching against guys I grew up watching?
I mean, I think the main one was whenever I threw against Houston here. Growing up watching Houston, that was pretty cool. But the last couple weeks, I've just had my head down and been just throwing it over the plate, and things have been going well. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we were joking yesterday. Ryan Rowland Smith was doing the show with us, and he was talking about, because he pitched in the league for a long time, and he talked about, Bryce Miller must be just going home going, I don't know what everybody's talking about. This is easy. This Major League Baseball stuff is easy, and you make it look easy, which is a huge compliment. But has it been? I don't know what you envisioned before you got here. Has it matched up? Has it been different than how you pictured it?
I mean, I'm definitely throwing a lot more fastballs than I thought I would be. But it's, I definitely didn't think that I would come out and be this successful right out of the rip, and everything's been going well. I've been over the plate and got a good defense behind me, so I've just been trusting the stuff and throwing whatever Cal calls. He's called a lot of fastballs, so I've thrown a lot, so it's worked out so far.
Yeah, because I know we talked to you on this show after your first starts. You've now had 4 more starts since then. You mentioned, okay, well, I'm going to keep throwing this fastball if Cal calls for it. What gives you the confidence in that pitch, or I guess what gives him the confidence to keep calling that pitch for you?
I mean, it's been a pitch that I've been able to locate. I've commanded it well, and there hasn't been very many barrels on it. So it's it's kind of the thing where we're not going to change something that's working, and it's definitely been working. So there hasn't really been any reason to stray away from it. But the only in Detroit, they kind of showed they were on it a little bit early, so that I threw the least amount of fastballs there. But so far, all 5 starts have been pretty heavy fastball usage, and it's worked. So
you've had very few moments. You bring up Detroit, but very few moments where you look like you were in trouble or they were getting to you. But just a couple. How does that feel? I mean, you look like your heart rate doesn't change. You look like, regardless of what's going on, kind of like Kirby. You guys are both the same. You're kind of stoic, and you nothing changes. Are you getting what you have to guard against getting too mental? Like, okay, I can't throw that again. They hit that, or you just, all right, you got to hit, moving on.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a game of short memory. So, if I give up a barrel or something, it's the next batter up, and I'm still going to trust my stuff. Really, like the first inning in Atlanta, I gave up a couple barrels that inning and got out of it with just 1 run, but. Even still after that inning, like I think I threw 80 fastballs in Atlanta, and just had to locate them better, and I knew that going forward, and I did it, and it worked. So it's a game of adjustments, and right now we haven't really had to make too many adjustments, so it's just trusting the stuff.
Yeah, so what goes through your mind after an inning like that? In Atlanta, you get out there, you get ready to make the start, you go through that inning. As you walk back to the dugout, are you trying to think too much, or are you just saying, okay, let's take a deep breath and get out there and get ready for the next one? Or are you kind of in your head going through, okay, this is what they did, this is how I have to counter?
It was the first inning that I've really kind of been hit around, and I came in the dugout. I was like, geez, we might be in trouble. But then I looked at the film, and I realized I was over the plate too much, and they were just on it. So it's all I could do after that was move on and focus more on my spots, and that's what I did, and it worked. So like I said, it's you gotta have a short memory, and I got through that first inning, and after that, it's a new inning, new batter up, so it's it was time to go.
Well, what was it like facing a team for the second time? Because you faced the A's pretty close together from your first time to the second time. Were you thinking about, all right, they know what I do now, I've got to change it up, or are you like, no, I'm just going to do what I do?
I mean, everything was the same, honestly. I mean, coming out of the minor leagues, whenever I would throw to a team twice, it would be twice in a week. So getting the A's twice in a month doesn't seem quite as bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, the game plan was the same. I mean, really the game plan has been the same all 5 games so far. So it's attack hitters early, and until, they prove I need to change, I'm probably not going to change. So
I'm sure the Mariners have worked with you, or you've kind of noticed that high fastball spin rate, and you've been mentioning the barrels. When does that become important to pitchers? Did you care about that? Did you know about all these StatCast metrics in college, in your early years in the minors? Or as you got through the organization, was it something that they started to stress with you why these stats are important?
So we, in college we had like TrackMan and Rapsodo and stuff, and we didn't really dive too much into it until I got to the minor leagues. And Seattle does a great job with all the analytics on all the pitch stuff, and kind of explained to me, because I knew I had a high spin fastball with vertical movement, but I never knew how much or like how good it was, because I didn't know what the numbers meant. And once I got here, they kind of explained it. We went through all of it, and they kind of showed me like where I need to be throwing my pitches, and really opened my eyes to how good they are. So, and that's obviously going to help tremendously on the just being confident with my pitches in all counts, not worrying about who's in the box, and just throwing it over the plate and seeing if they can hit it.
Now, are you a guy that will seek knowledge from the other pitchers in the rotation? Do you talk to Marco or talk to Luis or Logan? Hey, how do you grip that, or what do you do in this situation? Or are you more of a sit back and observe guy?
Yeah, I mean, these guys are here for a reason, and we have a great staff and a great bullpen, and you can learn a lot from a lot of these guys here. But for me, we're all different pitchers, so you have to take a little bit from each. You can't, nobody's the same in this staff. So it's like sit back and observe, and if I can take a piece from Logan or from Kirby or Castillo or Marco, like I'll take it. But a lot of it's just learning, like situationally, what to do, and then getting better on my own, like the stuff that benefits me from what I can take from others.
What have you learned from those guys, especially the fellow young pitchers like yourself, like Kirby, like Gilbert? Maybe not even watching their starts, but when you're interacting in the dugout today, when you guys aren't pitching, socially, are you guys becoming close? Are you bonding over similar rises, or what are all their personalities like?
Yeah, I mean, we got a really fun clubhouse. We got a lot of guys in there that have a lot of fun. But main thing that I learned from like just watching Kirby and Gilbert the last couple years was like, me coming into big league camp this year for the first time, like I was able to know, like the year before Kirby was in the exact same spot, and the year before that Gilbert was in the same spot, and they've had success in the big leagues the last 2 years. So it definitely helped me out, with keeping me comfortable and knowing that I was in the right spot and I was where I needed to be, just by seeing them do it the last couple years. So.
Now, are you a target for the vets in there? Do they give you a hard time? It feels like everybody gives Logan a hard time, which I can't quite figure out. It seems like the nicest guy in the world, but everybody likes to bust on him. Do they give you much of a hard time, or have they left you alone?
I mean, we've had our fun.
Yeah.
Ty gets a hold of me a little bit.
Does he?
But yeah.
What about Murph? He seems like he talked about he likes to give it to Kelnick the most. Does he give you a hard time?
I think he probably stays on Kelnick quite a bit. But yeah, Brash and Logan get a good amount.
Yeah, so. I can't figure out. Logan's just a sweetheart of a guy, but it seems like the team loves to go in on him.
I don't know. Take it off me. That's fine.
Well, I assume your family was there for your first start. Were they here for the Houston one as well? I was here, and it looked like after the game you had a ton of family members or friends out there.
Yeah.
How cool was that for you, as you said, your childhood team and all your family and friends that come here and watch you pitch against them?
Yeah, no, it was cool. I was fortunate. I had a couple days before I threw in Oakland that I could, get everything coordinated and get them out there. And then they ended up coming up to Seattle for the first time against Houston. So it was super cool being like, Houston's not too far from where I grew up, and like that's who we watched quite a bit. It was super cool.
Have you noticed you've got more friends and family now that your spotlight is growing? All of a sudden, people are coming out of the woodwork like, "Hey, man, remember me?"
Yeah, for sure. People I haven't talked to in a while.
Yeah, all of a sudden, you guys were best friends back in the day, and you didn't even know it.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens.
Well, get used to it, man. I mean, you're catching a lot of people's attention outside of Seattle. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better start to your career, and I know everybody just expects you to do that every time you take the hill. Now, I'm sure you expect it as well, but it's been a lot of fun watching you out there, and really cool to talk to you. Thanks so much for coming by.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks, Bryce.
There you go. Bryce Miller of your Seattle Mariners, who's just been absolutely phenomenal. A lot of fun to watch, and we appreciate him coming by.